Alright, in your future math class, there will be situations where you'll need to identify a function as a composition of two separate functions. They call this decomposing functions. Basically, you're breaking down a complicated function into two simpler functions. So here, each of these have h, k's, p's, and then we're just going to break them into, we're basically going to find f of x and g of x. So f of x, these are two simpler ones, and g of x. If you have a highlighter, you can highlight things that are repeating, or in examples 7, 8, and 9, you don't see that. So here I'm going to highlight x squared. If I take x squared here, I'll call that g of x. Okay. Class, I have a question. What part did I not highlight here in h of x? That's called the natural log ln of x. So how would I write this function now? Well, g of x, you can do this in two ways. In decomposing, there's actually multiple ways of doing this problem. I can put g of x into f of x. Do you see it? I'm kind of putting this is kind of like yesterday's lesson. I can put all this into here. So we can call this f of g of x equals our h of x. Or you can also do it the other way around. I can take this natural log and I can put it in for every x value. Then you would write that as g of f of x. Okay. So my answer in breaking down the two is my two functions here, f of x and g of x. Let's try another one. Look at example number 8. Take a guess. What do you think I'm going to highlight? Let's highlight the x squared minus 1. So I have f of x and g of x. We highlighted the x squared minus 1. So class, what did I not highlight? The square root. Okay, pay attention. Well, I have to put something in there. What do you put in there? You have to put in an x. Does that make sense? So basically I can put all this into my x there. So I'm basically putting the g of x into my function of f. So I've basically broken down, I'm decomposing k of x is equal to f of g of x. My g of x, the most inside part there, is x squared minus 1, and that goes into my function of f. Okay? Alright, what did you guys highlight in number 9? X minus 3. That's what I would have done. Okay, what do we not highlight? Okay, pay attention. Can you just write an E here? No, you have to write X there. So basically you're putting in G of X here. So how would you write that? K of X equals F. Ooh, look at that. We're a little bit different. Is that the same? Isn't that what we just learned 2 days ago? Fog? The G of X is my most inside, and I'm putting that into my F of X. Does that make sense? I just wrote it in a different way. But they're exactly the same, yes? Yes, sir. Alright. What did you guys highlight over here? Put your finger on something you see that's repeating. Yeah, x plus 1. Okay, what did you not highlight? X squared. So here, think of it this way. Here's another way of seeing this. That's just what you just highlighted, yes? So think of it as kind of like, what we didn't highlight is box squared minus 3 box plus 4. And class, what is the, instead of writing a box, you're writing what?
X.
An X. Okay. So that means P of X is equal to what goes on the outside, F or G? F of what? G of X. Okay? So really in your answers, we're just looking for you to decompose the more complicated function into F and G.
I love math. You don't love math? What's wrong with you?